Not everyone who asks for your help is worthy of your mercy. Not everyone who cries to you deserves your shoulder, and not every soul you rescue is part of your divine test. Sometimes, the very person you try to save was sent to destroy your peace, because Allah, in His infinite mercy, warned us about 8 types of people we must walk away from, not out of arrogance, but out of obedience. Those who mock Allah's signs. Surah Al-An'am 6:68. When you see those who engage in false conversation about our verses, then turn away from them until they engage in a different topic. There are people today who don't just disbelieve. They mock. They laugh at what you cry for. They joke about what you live for. They turn the Quran into content, the hijab into a costume, prayer into a punchline, and somehow your heart still whispers, "Be kind. Maybe you can help them." But what does Allah say? Walk away. Not just from the joke, but from the entire conversation, until they change. Until they show respect, because staying there, smiling, listening, pretending it's not that serious, it chips away at your dignity, and it dishonors the verses you once cried over in sujud. You were not made to blend into darkness. You were made to carry light, but if you keep standing in the shadows, their darkness will consume your light. This isn't about being judgmental. It's about protecting your soul, because the more you tolerate mockery, the more numb your heart becomes to its pain. Real strength is walking away, even if everyone else stays. Real love for Allah means choosing Him, even when the crowd laughs. So next time they mock the signs of your Rabb, don't laugh along. Walk away, because the one who honors Allah's words will be honored by Allah Himself, the habitual liar. The Prophet said, "Beware of lying, for lying leads to wickedness, and wickedness leads to hellfire." Bukhari. Some people lie like they breathe, effortlessly, constantly, without guilt. They lie to gain your sympathy. They lie to borrow your money. They lie to ruin others, and eventually, they lie about you. And you? You try to help. You believe their tears. You think, maybe this time they'll change. But some people aren't asking for help. They're looking for control. And every time you forgive them, they don't heal. They reload. Lying isn't just a bad habit. It's a path, a straight road to wickedness. And wickedness is a path to hellfire. The Prophet didn't just warn against lies. He traced their destination. And here's the truth many don't want to hear. Not everyone deserves your trust. Not everyone deserves another chance. Because your mercy without boundaries can become fuel for someone's manipulation. Yes, Islam teaches forgiveness. But Islam also teaches wisdom, justice, and self-respect. If someone lies again and again, despite advice, prayer, and patience, they're not making a mistake. They're making a choice. So protect your heart, protect your circle. And remember, the one who constantly lies is walking a road the Prophet warned us about. Don't walk it with them. The one who divides the Ummah. Surah Al-Hujurat 49:9. And if 2 groups of believers fight, make peace between them. But if one of them oppresses the other, then fight against the one that transgresses. The Ummah is meant to be one body, one heart, one voice. But today, it's torn apart. Not just by enemies, but by whispers within, backbiters, gossipers, people who pretend to care, but carry secrets like weapons. They speak sweetly to both sides. But behind the scenes, they're lighting the match. They say, "I'm just trying to help. I'm stuck in the middle." But in reality, they're the ones feeding the fire. And you, pure-hearted, sincere, step in to mediate. But what happens? Their poison spreads. And soon, you become the next target. These people don't solve conflict. They profit from it. And every rumor they spread, every heart they turn, is a wedge driven deeper into the Ummah. Allah commands us to make peace, not pick sides. But he also says, when someone transgresses, stand against them, not passively, not silently. Stand, because the one who divides believers isn't just hurting feelings. They are tearing the fabric of unity that Islam commands. Don't be a bridge for shaitan's whispers. Be a wall that blocks them. Stop the whisper. Stop the fitna. Because unity is sacred, and those who destroy it are walking a path of destruction. The proud and arrogant Surah Luqman 31:18. And do not turn your face away from people in arrogance, nor walk proudly upon the earth. Indeed, Allah does not like the arrogant and boastful. You've met them, the ones who speak with a sneer, who walk like the world owes them everything, who treat you not like a human, but like a tool. You help them, they say it's your duty. You give, they say they deserve more. And still, you stay. You tell yourself, maybe if I'm patient, they'll change. But here's the truth. Pride is not softened by kindness. It's only broken by Allah's justice. Arrogance blinded Iblis. It ruined Pharaoh. It destroyed nations before us. And when you keep feeding someone's ego with your silence, you don't raise them. You lower yourself. Because pride is a fire. And when you get too close, you get burned. The Prophet said, no one who has an atom's weight of pride in their heart will enter paradise. Muslim, so ask yourself, are you helping a soul or enabling a sin? True help is guiding someone away from arrogance. True love is saying, fear Allah. And if they reject humility, then step back, protect your self-worth. Because when you support arrogance, you dishonor the very humility that Islam teaches. Don't let their pride destroy your peace. Choose dignity. Choose distance, if that's what saves your soul. The one who never remembers Allah. Surah Al-Kahf 18:28. And keep yourself patient with those who call upon their Lord. And do not obey one whose heart we have made heedless of our remembrance. You sit with them often. Their conversations are endless. Money, people, desires, drama, fame, worldly plans, but never a word about Jannah, never a tear for Tawbah, never a pause for dhikr, never a sigh for the soul, and yet you stay. You wait for a moment of light in their darkness, hoping maybe this time they'll remember Allah, but hearts that never remember Allah will never help you remember Him either. You leave those gatherings heavier, not lighter. You laugh, but feel emptier. And your soul? It starts to forget what it was created for. Allah didn't just tell us to worship Him. He told us who to sit with. Be with those who call upon their Lord morning and evening. Not just the loudest, not the funniest, but the ones who connect you back to Allah. Because the people around you shape the person within you. Choose company that softens your heart. Choose friends who speak of the Akhirah. Choose gatherings where your light is protected. Don't spend your soul in places that extinguish it. Your time is too precious, your heart is too delicate, and your light is too sacred to waste it in the presence of those who've forgotten their Lord. The one who abuses forgiveness. The Prophet said, a believer is not stung from the same hole twice. Bukhari. They lied. You forgave. They betrayed. You gave another chance. They broke you. You still said, maybe they'll change. But some people don't see your kindness as compassion. They see it as permission. They cry when they're caught, not because they feel guilt, but because they fear consequences. And the moment your mercy wipes the slate clean, they sharpen their next betrayal. You say it's saber, but saber isn't naivete. Saber isn't allowing abuse to repeat in the name of faith. Even Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, warns. Delays. But when arrogance continues, He punishes. So who told you that being merciful means being broken? That loving someone means losing yourself? Forgiveness is noble. But Islam never asked you to be a doormat. It asked you to be wise. Set boundaries. Say enough.
Step back when trust is turned into a trap. And remember, the Prophet, our model of mercy, also said to not be stung twice from the same hole. You are not cruel for protecting your heart. You are not sinful for walking away from repeated harm. Mercy doesn't mean madness. Forgiveness has limits. And when someone abuses it again and again, it's not on you anymore, it's between them and Allah. 7. The one who destroys family ties. The Prophet said, "The one who severs the ties of kinship will not enter paradise." Muslim. Some people don't break doors. They break families. They whisper into hearts. They twist words. They turn children against parents, sisters against brothers. And you? You try to be the bridge. You try to make peace. But slowly you start to realize they don't want healing. They want division. They thrive on envy. They feed on conflict, and they carry destruction from one house to the next, leaving behind broken homes and wounded hearts. And now, your home doesn't feel like home anymore. The peace is gone. The love is strained. And all because you let the wrong person stay too close. Yes, they may be family. Yes, they may have once meant everything. But Islam doesn't ask you to keep letting someone poison what Allah told you to protect. Sometimes the most merciful thing you can do is say, no more. Protect your home. Protect your children. Protect your peace. Because the Prophet didn't just warn about breaking ties. He said such people won't even smell Jannah. So don't enable what Allah has condemned. Don't confuse family titles with righteous behavior. Ties of blood don't excuse a heart full of corruption. If they destroy what's sacred, distance is a form of wisdom. You're not being harsh, you're being responsible. The ungrateful. Surah Al-Insan 7:26-3. Indeed, we guided him to the way. Be he grateful or ungrateful, you fed them when they were empty. You stayed up at night making dua for their name. You gave your time, your heart, your best years. And they walked away without even looking back. Not a thank you, not a prayer, not even a memory. You gave them loyalty. They gave you silence. You offered your heart. They returned it, bruised and cold. And still, you wonder, should I try again? But the truth is, some people don't need another chance. They need distance. Not because you're cruel, but because their ingratitude isn't just to you. It's to the one who sent you. Every good you gave them was from Allah, and they threw it away like it meant nothing. Not because you weren't enough, but because their hearts were never taught to appreciate blessings. Even Allah says, we guide them. But they choose either gratitude or denial. So walk away, not in anger, but in wisdom. Let them answer to Allah, not for how they treated you, but for how they dismissed the ni'mah He placed in front of them. Don't keep watering a soul that's turned its roots from the rain. Your love was never wasted. It was seen, counted, and written by the one who never forgets. My dear heart, helping is noble, but blind helping can be dangerous. Even Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was told not to plead for his own son. O Nuh, indeed he is not of your family. Indeed, his work was unrighteous. Surah Hud 11:46. Let that sink in. Even a prophet was told, let go, guard your heart, protect your peace, and trust that Allah sees the intentions you had, even when they hurt you. But now, it's time to let go. Not everyone who needs saving deserves your soul. And sometimes, not helping is the most merciful thing you can do. And whomever Allah does not guide, there is no guide for him. Surah Az-Zumar 39:23. O Allah, guide us to help the right hearts and protect us from the wrong ones. Ameen.